let's get cozy, shall we? Guess what we're talking about today? Come on, give it your best guess. We're doing dating tips for dudes part 2. Woo! You guys were super into my dating tips for dudes part 1, which was all about what a girl is thinking. Are you serious? My dog is barking already. What was I saying? First dating tips for dudes was all about what a girl is thinking, how she thinks, and how it differs from the way a guy thinks. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and click up here. Hopefully I'm actually pointing in the right direction because I'm always bad at knowing which direction to point at, but it is somewhere up here. But today's video is going to be about making plans, because if you are a girl and you have felt the frustration of trying to make plans with a boy, or if you're a guy who has suffered from a very frustrated girlfriend when it comes to making plans, then this video is for you. I'm just going to talk you through what I think the biggest do's and don'ts are when it comes to making plans with your girlfriend. All the disclaimers are the same as the first video. I can only give advice on heterosexual relationships because that is what I personally experience. And again, it doesn't apply to everybody, so if it does, great, and if it doesn't, stay to hang out anyways. First thing I have to say about making plans is, guys, y'all have to be definitive. And what I mean by that is wishy-washiness is not acceptable here. Make a decision, stick with it. If your girl asks you if you want to do something on a specific day, it's either a yes or a no, baby. I feel like a lot of guys think that saying maybe or yes, I'd be super down, like let me get back to you, or like leaving her hanging is the best way to go because it saves you in the moment and it doesn't sound as harsh as a no. But what you're really doing is getting her hopes up. And the last thing you want to do is be the person that crushes her hopes when they're high. When she's asking you, her hopes are here. You say maybe, her hopes go here, and then you say no later down the line, and it's suddenly this huge downfall of, oh my god, I'm gonna kill that boy because he said maybe, and to me maybe sounded like yes. So do yourself a favor and catch her in her neutral position here, so when you say no, it's not as disappointing as it would have been if you got her up here. Don't be afraid to say no because it feels like a rejection. All it is answering her question. She doesn't need a sugarcoat. She doesn't need you to hold her hand and butter her up and make her feel all nice and fuzzy, even though you know you're not going to be able to live up to the plan. What she needs is an answer that's not going to lead her on. It's going to give her exactly what she wants then and now. And I know what you're thinking. Maybe she's standing there asking you if you're free on that day and she's got that scary look in her eye and you panic and you're like, I should just say yes even though I haven't checked my schedule yet, or at least I should say maybe because I mean she's staring at me with those please be free eyes. But all you're doing is using maybe as a crutch, and if you don't live up to it, she's gonna take that crutch and smack you on the head with it. You want that? At the end of the day, your maybes and your yeah, that should work, they all sound like a yes. Maybe you didn't mean it that way, but she's gonna take what you say and hear what she wants to hear, and she wants to hear yes, okay? Now, I'm not saying that she won't be disappointed if you say no. Again, she's gonna start at this neutral position. You say no to avoid getting her hopes up, and she's still gonna be a little disappointed. But while a no might be a short-term disappointment, it is also an opportunity for you to take the plans into your own hands, to redirect and show her that you do want to spend time with her and you do want to do that thing with her. Because like I said in my first dating tips for dudes, it's all about her wanting to feel special and cared for by you. So if you can take the opportunity where you did just reject her and turn it into something that's now in your hands, in your power, and say, hey babe, I can't do that, but how about we do this on this day instead? What you're trying to do is say no because you can't make it to that day, while also reminding her that you do want to spend time with her and you're not saying no because you don't. The worst possible thing you can do is answer her question about making a plan with no and then say nothing else. Because you know what that is? I'll tell you what it is. It's a rejection and she ain't here for it. Second thing is to alternate who is making the plan. I said this in my very first official video about staying in touch with friends and how it's really important to take turns in making plans because it relieves that feeling of one-sidedness when it comes to a relationship of two people. It's really important to make sure that you are giving in as much as the other person is, so that one person isn't constantly feeling like they're giving and giving and giving and getting nothing back. Same thing applies to here. You want to make sure that you're asking her to do all these things as much as she's asking you to, because if you aren't, it eventually gets to the point where she's constantly making these plans and constantly being like, hey babe, want to do this, and chances are 50% of those things you're gonna say no to because you're either busy or you don't want to do it, which means that she's the only one receiving the feeling of rejection. And the only way to alleviate that is to make sure that you're also asking her to hang out so that there's some sort of fairness, equality, balance two-sidedness. I also think that it's super important to make sure that you are changing up the things that you do when you're making a plan with your girlfriend. If you're anything like me in my relationships, you kind of hit this point where you're both kind of lazy, you're comfortable, you've been with this person for a long time, and you're just really used to going to the same places, watching Netflix with each other, taking it easy, staying in, getting into this routine of being really, really comfortable. This may work for some people and it may be fine for a short period of time. After a while, your girlfriend's gonna think that you don't want to do any fun things with her, that you're just kind of letting your relationship do its own thing and you're getting lazy and there's no spark anymore and blah blah blah. So make sure that you're balancing your lazy stay-in days, your movie nights with fun adventures and hikes and things you want to do in the summer, places you want to travel, so that she still feels like you want to experience life with her and not just sit in bed and watch TV all day. I guarantee you that that one is going to be the one that she appreciates most, because speaking from my own experience and from my friend's experience, you start off a relationship making all these lists and all the things that you want to do together, then you reach a point where you're not doing any of these fun things anymore, and it's really frustrating and it's sad to compare what it was at the beginning to what it has become. So making sure you have some variance in the plans that you make is really going to go the extra mile. Fourth thing, and this one's important, know your boundaries between a hangout and a date. And what I mean by a hangout is, let's say you've been dating for X amount of time, you've introduced her to your friends, you've integrated friend groups, she knows your bros, she knows your hoes, and you get to a point where you all hang out together. That's what I mean by a hangout. Parties, birthdays, dinners, days at the beach, etc. Dates, self-explanatory. Romantic experience between you and her. Do not get, this hand motion is really interesting. Do not get these two things confused. It might feel really natural to constantly invite your friends to the things that you're doing with your girlfriend, because ideally at this point, your friends and your girlfriend really like each other. They like spending time with each other. And let's be real, you want to spend as much time with your bros and with your friends as much as you do with her. But if you don't differentiate the fact that you have hangouts with your friends and dates with just your girlfriend, basically what's gonna happen is she's gonna start thinking that she's a bro and that she's in the friend zone, and she'll go out and find a man that doesn't put her there. So figure out if it's a hangout or a date, because if it's a date and you invite your bros, boy, you're looking to get shot. Now your question is, how do I know if it's a hangout or a date? Rule of thumb, if she planned it, assume it's a date. The plans are in her hands and she's setting aside time and she's asking you to do something with her. Just assume that she wants to do it just with you, and she wants it to be a romantic and fun and exciting experience as a couple. And don't invite your best friend Henry, because Henry does not belong in this situation. I know I've said there's nothing worse a couple times, but there's truly nothing worse than assuming a date is a hangout and bringing all your friends and her being like, what the hell, man? Now, if you plan it, it's totally your choice. If you wanted to have a beach day and invite all your bros, all your friends, and you want your girlfriend there and you just want to have this big summer party, woo, beach volleyball, yeah, great, totally do it. I don't expect you to stop hanging out with your friends and only hang out with your girlfriend by herself. I love integrating my partner and my friends. I understand. But what you should keep in mind is to make sure that you have a balance between the hangouts that you're setting and the dates that you're setting. You don't want to be the guy that only ever wants to hang out with his girlfriend with his friends. If all the plans that you specifically make are with your friends, again, she's gonna think you friend zoned her. And let me tell you, the friend zone doesn't include sex. So if you like sex, I wouldn't do that. Again, it comes down to balance. Make sure you have a balance between your romantic gestures and the ones that you include your friends in. Last thing, and it is kind of repetitive from my first dating tips for dudes video, but that is, if you say something, you better mean it. Think about all the times you saw a trailer on your Facebook feed and you were like, oh my god, babe, we have to see that. Or you see a Daily Hive article and it's like this food truck festival is coming. You tag your girlfriend and you're like, babe, we have to go to that. Yes, it's super fun to share these things with your partner, and no, you don't have to do all of them, but make sure you're not being that guy who says all these things and seems like he wants to do all these things with his girlfriend and then not live up to any of it later. Of course, there are going to be things where you just never ended up going, but make sure you are putting some effort into the things that you say and the things that you seemed excited to share with her, because again, she's going to remember everything you say. So don't just be making a list of disappointments, because I told you before, getting her hopes up and crushing them, you don't want to do that. Anyways, I hope that kind of put into perspective how you should be making plans and things you should be considering when it comes to making plans with your girlfriend or someone that you're seeing. And again, these videos should be taken with a grain of salt. Only you and your girlfriend know your relationship. I'm just trying to save your ass as best as I can with my own experience. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe if you want, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!